Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here, and I am from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars for the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom, while the Switch remake is on its way. So, last time we have basically managed able to encounter Bowser that he did kidnapped Peach once again, except the fact, no matter what though, is about the fact that if you think the adventure just ends right there, but as it turns out, this is just the beginning, because as it turns out, the ginormous sword crash-landed into the actual Bowser's Keep, and now is about to take over the forms of Bowser's Keep. So as a result, there's nothing we can do for this point, apart from the fact that we have to traverse through different locations before we make our way to able to collect the most important aspect or plot MacGuffins throughout the majority of the whole entire adventure, which, as a result, we'll get into more details onto that particular topic once we're able to continue proceedings for the majority of this week or something relates to that. So, anyways though, and also in addition to that, we also managed able to beat the likes out of the Fonzo's Hammer Bros, so that way we can able to receive our first weapon in the game, which appears to be none other than the hammer. So yeah, you probably get the gist of it though. So today, for this video, is about the fact that we're about to be able to continue exploring for the forms of the Mushroom Kingdom by able to actually do all kinds of stuff here and there. In addition to that, we also need to talk to the counselor, so we can definitely notice about the fact that what to do next. So, but either way though, chances are though is about the fact that this is going to be for the majority of the point where we have to do a lot of like side quests or anything else to be more specific. Well, I'm not exactly sure how do I say about this for the most part, because it's been about 2 days ago since I've played this game for the most part. So, but either way though, yeah, sure, why not? Because obviously about the fact that you know, Toad is awesome, as to be expected in my opinion. Even though some people seem to say that Toads are annoying, but honestly guys, Toad is awesome, and cute at the same time, I must admit. So, but either way though, now he just goes jumping like crazy. So, but either way though, because he wants to compete the forms of the highest jump ever compared to Mario. So, yeah, that's as far as I can usually say about this, I guess. So a few things I want to explain for this point today, and that is about the fact that today's date, of course, there is the 5th of July today, in this case in 2023 today. Well, I suppose no matter what though, is about the fact that we've only got about roughly 16 days left until Pikmin 4 for the Nintendo Switch will be releasing during that time. And also not to mention though is about the fact that for those of you who lived in the UK, well, I think there was actually a random topic I could probably discuss upon. That is about the fact that happy 75th anniversary of the NHS existence, with all that particular, you know, with hospitals or anything else like that. So I can't believe it's been 75 years since when NHS has been first existence. So, which I found was quite fascinating, despite the fact that it does have some bit of struggles, especially noticeable after that particular pandemic that we actually went through for the majority of the forms of 2020, 2021, and a tiny bit on 2022. But either way though, that might be saying something I suppose, and exponentially also applies for the forms of the beginning portion of 2023. But I'm happy to report about the fact that as far as what, you know, Sonic and Pac-Man have already mentioned about this ever since in the past few weeks or something like that. Basically though is about the fact that when it comes to Nintendo Direct in mind, that thankfully the you know what I'm saying, the C-word message just no longer shows up in every Direct every now and then, which it'll be noticeable, especially noticeable about the fact that once we get to the forms of the next presentation coming up, which appears to be by the forms of ND World, that is usually going to take place at some point in later summer, so we can expect about the fact that we can able to know about the fact that, well, you probably get the idea about that particular things itself as far as what I was going to say for this point. So, anyways, let's go and use our flower jar, which actually increases our flower points up to like 3. So either way though, now we actually get ourselves 15 flower points. So that should be pretty good. And what makes this a little bit more cooler is that every time whenever you do manage to able to utilize the forms of the actual like let's just say by the forms of one of those flower-based items, like the flower jar for instance. Basically though, as soon as you're able to actually get even more flower points to your disposal, and exponentially it actually fulfills or reveals your flower points on top of that. So yeah, it seems pretty recommendable, especially noticeable if you're trying to take care of the toughest bosses in the game. Well, you'll probably find out and drain out some form or another. Oh, by the way, this is easy to miss if for those of you have a first time playing the game, because if you activate that hidden chest, basically it actually contains another one of those collectibles, which appears to be known as the frog coins. Now, I'll explain more details about those until in a later time, because at the moment, here we are into the actual, well, Princess Peach's castle or something like that. And because of this though, let's go and talk to the counselor to see what really happens during the forms of our journey so far. So, but either way though, but again, I would have liked able to explain any other like dialogue or anything else like that, but honestly guys, I think you should probably be able to read it for yourself. So, but again, not exactly a huge expert on reading, so I must admit that I apologize for this point. So, and also, short things worth noting for is about the fact that, well, speaking of something related to Mario stuff I would like to mention, is that, well, exponentially we're now on to the halfway point in terms of the night tour, and yeah, it's kind of unfortunate about the fact that, oh, what's going on here? Okay, that's actually pretty clever. Especially about the fact that every once in a while, when Mario's gonna do a massive recap on the forms of how the story unfolds, and then basically does about the fact that he decided able to go for imagination, for able to pretending to be Bowser and Princess Toadstool during that specific storyline, and overall, I just really love the charm to it, which I'm happy to report that the Switch remake is definitely gonna feature that particular you know, humor like this, so, which I fully appreciate, especially because, you know, everyone else has been hyped about the forms of Switch remake for the longest amount of time, myself included, and especially noticeable about the fact that, like I said before, I'm glad it's going to be releasing during very close towards the end of 2023, so I'm not exactly sure how many, sales numbers they were able to bring us into, but I'm sure we'll able to let some toys else. We're able to actually mention more details about that. Maybe, presumably, we're able to update that during at some point, and I would say if it's a possibility, it's going to be on 2024, so that might be the reason for it, because obviously we're not going to be able to be hearing about in terms of not only Super Mario Bros. Wonder, but also with Super Mario RPG sales numbers, including WarioWare Move It, until 2024. Like, let's just say until February in 2024, I should say. So, because of this, though, yeah, that's what I can really say about it. And every once in a while, as you can see, it's about the fact that we've now actually come across into ourselves the map that we can now use. Although, we're probably not going to use the map that often, though. Especially noticeable about the fact that, well, obviously about the fact that as soon as we're able to go into the map, it actually shows you the forms of the entire thing we can able to see, as you can probably tell. So, again, I apologize for my commentary is a bit slightly iffy at this point. Well, I think it's mainly because about the fact that I'm still basically just able to realize that I could possibly explain any details on that specific topic, but either way though, so if you go into the forms of Princess Peach's room, or Princess Toadstool's room, oh jeez, looks like we found something mysterious in here. But as it turns out about the fact that one of those NPCs managed able to notice that we actually are doing something a little bit dirty and stuff like that. And, relatively speaking though, thankfully she did manage to give us a mushroom for a freebie, so that should be probably pretty swell. But as soon as we leave, oh yeah, before we leave, there's actually a secret room that way we can able to actually access to. So in some cases though, yeah, we'll just go ahead and go down here. And from here we can able to activate not one, but 3 treasure chests. So yeah, it seems kind of legitimate. So because of this though, and every once in a while Toad will be able to actually tell you what these items can do, especially noticeable, it's almost like a tutorial kind of stuff. So in some cases though, if you want to know what the coins are, as well as what the mushroom can do, and even the flowers may able to give you something rewarding. So, like for instance, if you spawn a coin, basically it gives you some coins, obviously. And then if you come across into the forms of the flower, which actually gives you additional points for your flower points. And also not to mention though, if you come across into a mushroom in a chest, basically not only does he able to actually completely reveal your health, but also with the forms of some flower points as well. So either way though, Oh, what's up with this commotion anyway? Who's up with this guy? And who is up with the forms of this guy as well? And it looks like about the fact that this particular cloud fella just somehow once able to chase after that particular crocodile, or in some cases a purple crocodile, and he doesn't know how to climb. So in some cases though, he somehow managed to get away, so... Well, it looks like about the fact that... Oh, I'm sorry, a reptile, as far as what he did say for this point, so... I just get a horrible feeling about the fact that he might tend to cry. Yeah, because I can definitely tell from that particular text. And oh goodness, it's getting to rain! So I suppose we should probably help him out. So hopefully we'll try to calm him down, and hopefully we'll try to able to solve this problem out. So... Anyway though, in terms of everything else I could discuss upon this point is about the fact that, like I said before, it's a shame about the fact that not only I can't get myself the Bone Fin Me Racing suit, which, I must be honest here, the actual special item is pretty useless, all things considered to me though, and on top of all that stuff though, because it contains a bubble, so that's all there is to say. And it's also, it kinda sucks about the fact that I can't seem to able to get myself the yellow Shy Guy variation because of the stupid tier system, but at the very least though, that's the second week in terms of Night Tour, we're able to actually bring something else to the table, like in addition to bring ourselves the Gold Wings glider, but it's also about the fact that we can pretty much guarantee we can able to get ourselves another gold variation of that specific character, which as it turns out, it appears to be Dry Bones, specifically Gold Dry Bones, so... But I will admit though right away though, I'm felt a little bit skeptical when it comes to likely getting that particular character in mind, because as a result, once again, it's locked out behind a stupid tier system, as be expected. So, well, it's a good thing we did somehow manage to purchase the pants to begin with, because obviously about the fact that, well, obviously we'll be good to go, because now we actually got ourselves our partner companion, which it appears to be buddy forms of Mallow. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, is about the fact that in terms of status, basically he's currently on level 2, but eventually once we keep on battling most of those enemies, then we'll sure enough we're able to keep on leveling up during that time. So don't worry, we'll promise we'll get to that point. Especially noticeable about the fact that at the moment, that in addition about the fact that at the moment for Mario, we've actually equipped the hammer as a weapon, and especially noticeable with the forms of the shirt, and potentially speaking with the forms of jump boots as well, so that way it can deal so much more damage, assuming of course about the fact that if you're trying to equip, let's just say by the forms of, you know, jump boots, and that will be super effective when it comes to likely doing regular jumps for special moves. So either way, let's go ahead and save our game quickly, before we're able to continue things on to the next point, so yeah, that should be pretty swell. So either way though, and believe it or not, we're actually getting very, very close to that particular point where, you know what I'm saying about the fact that not only with this new update coming up for Mario Kart Tour, despite the fact that I don't usually care for the game that much, but as a result, that we might as well get ourselves the 100th tour coming up is actually getting very close. So yeah, I'm actually very curious to see what content they'll bring. Unfortunately though, I don't think I could probably mention about it during the Forms of On Friday's case, mainly because about the fact that I think it's probably best if we let, well, I'm also able to mention more about it during at some point until on next Monday, presumably. So, but either way though, that might be saying something, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the next location, which appears to be buddy forms of Bandit's Way. So, it doesn't seem about the fact that it's going to be ridiculously long for that particular location in mind, but until in the later areas in the game, they might actually feel a little bit more big to able to explore, or something relates to that, so... And as it turns out about the fact that let's go ahead and deal with those Goombas here, in addition to Spikies as well. So now we've actually got ourselves Mallow in our team. This also means about the fact that we can now able to take control of the forms of 2 characters during the battle. But here's the catch though, is about the fact that as soon as we're able to continue proceedings for this game, we might able to expect to able to get even more characters later down the road. That might be seems a bit surprising. So because of this though, because for whatever reason, I'm sort of able to actually used to with the forms of the actual like not only with Paper Mario. Oh, speaking of such though, here's our new enemy we've actually encountered. That's what appears to be by the forms of Croco, I think is what it says anyway. And he does have 80 HP, and in terms of experience points, he does have about 3 experience points every time when you killed him. And on top of that, I believe you get like 4 coins if you manage able to kill him. So, and exponentially, that pretty much takes care of the forms of Croco, I think is what it says anyway. So, but either way though, and I can assure you, if you manage able to utilize the hammer, as I said before, it deals so much damage. Assuming, of course, if you do a well-timing hit. So, and exponentially also is about the fact that here's our special move for Mallow, which basically allows you to able to cause a lightning bolt. So exponentially, you can able to deal with not only multiple enemies, but also if you time your button presses well enough, it actually deals with extra damage if you see that extra flash. At least if I was assuming so anyway. So, but either way, and I just realized there's another safe block just nearby, so, but either way, let's just go ahead and take care of the forms of those spikies first. Now, with the actual default attack, when it comes to Mallow, that he just stretches arms and then just do a bit of a fist punch. So, you know, it's a bit like the forms of how it does it for Mario's fist punch ever since in the beginning portion of the game, except, well, he stretches arms, basically. So, either way, though, I mean, what is this, like Sonic the Werehog syndrome? Well, I've got no words. Alright, so now we've actually got more experience points to the table, as well as some more coins, and yeah, before we continue things on here, we need to double check if there are certain enemies we could probably be able to be spotted with, and especially noticeable with certain items we could possibly find as well. So even then though, I think if I recall correctly, we're actually getting very close to level 4 for Mario. So either way though, because again, sometimes trying to able to level up might be a bit of a multiple task or something like that. So either way though, let's just go ahead and deal with this next part right here. So either way though, of course we can able to still utilize the spinning flower thingy ever since in the beginning portion of the game. So, and from here we need to able to hop onto these specific blocks, as you can see, so we can able to continue our progression here. So, but either way though, before we get into that though, let me go ahead and take care of these new types of enemies we're able to encounter with, and these guys are known as K9, not to be confused as one of the characters from not only in Doctor Who, specifically in the forms of one of those episodes in Series 2, but also with the forms of the majority of the Sarah Jane Avengers, which as a result, except the fact that, usually relatively speaking though, that K9 in those 2 series are the good guy, or he was potentially a good companion for Sarah Jane and stuff like that. So as a result of that kind of stuff, that was about the fact that, well, when it comes to K9, in this game in particular, does have 30 HP, and in addition to that, if you manage to kill them, it actually gives you like 2 experience points, and surprisingly enough, no coins at all. So either way though, that's actually kind of weird to able to actually not giving you too much coins for that particular point's worth noting for. So anyway, so I think the actual K9s do respawn every once in a while, every time if you do manage to deal with them, so at least potentially I can able to deal with them more, so just in case we can able to actually keep on leveling up for our experience points and pretty much everything else alike. So, and I was very surprised about this as well, is about the fact that Capcom74 hasn't actually touched upon this game yet, but I'm guessing it because we did somehow beat him to it, I suppose. But either way though, let's go and finish them off right here, and that way we should able to get ourselves a level up for Mallow. And he is currently on to level 3, so in some cases though, now he has this new ability which appears to be HP Rain. And that actually allows you to able to heal yourself. So that should be pretty good, especially noticeable about the fact that if you're having some struggles with certain fights, well basically that'll be a good special move you can able to utilize with. So anyway, so if you hop on here, and there we go, we got ourselves another item, which appears to be Croco Cola. I think it's what it says anyway. Now I think what this allows you to do is that basically it actually gives us a full recovery with not only with the forms of HP, but also with flower points as well, or FP for short. So, but again, this is before when Paper Mario continues that tradition when it comes to not only having HP, but also with flower points as well, until the forms of the future games, they somehow ditch the actual flower point system when it comes to, like, not only in Super Paper Mario, but also with Paper Mario Sticker Star and Color Splash and the Origami King. So either way, that must have been said something, I suppose. So, man, I will admit though right away, I really love the music in this game, which I think some people already noticed already from the get-go though, but that's only mainly because about the fact this is one of the late Super Nintendo titles that ever came out, before the Nintendo 64 rolls around. So, but either way though, that must have been said something about the fact that, I will admit, the soundtrack is amazing. Especially noticeable about the fact that, you probably noticed right from the start though, is about the fact that that particular Mushroom Kingdom location that we've already been into, that basically though, one of the music will get remixed during at some point in 2011, where, you know, the game called Fortune Street, or Boom Street, to be more specifically in the European countries, that basically though, if you go into Peach's Castle board, basically one of those music is actually gets remixed. And that could be also applies onto the forms of the Japanese exclusive DS game as well, because obviously about the fact that Square Enix is also part of the forms of well, for those two games combined, well, when it comes to likely for Mario and Dragon Quest collaboration based off on the likes of a Monopoly game or something like that. So, well, mind you, it's been ages since I actually have last played Boom Street, believe it or not, mainly because about the fact that I was expecting to be able to do the Let's Play of the game at some form or another, but I still haven't got around to it though, mainly because I kind of still prefer the Mario Party stuff, I must be honest here, mainly because of not only gem-packed full of mini-games, but it's also about the fact that you can potentially try to able to make a lot of fun out of it, and potentially speaking of, when it comes to a Mario Party 9, that it runs at 60 FPS at all times, unlike in Boom Street, managed to run in 30 FPS, so, but well, no big deal I suppose. But either way, let's go and take care of this K9 right here. Before we get ourselves our next treasure chest needs to be opened, so I will try my best if I was trying to able to open up every single treasure chest in the game, but I have no idea how I'm supposed to able to get some of them later down the road. Well, I'll point it out whenever we get to that specific point later, so anyways, let's go and take care of the spiky enemy right here, and that way we should be able to classify if we're able to, well, get our treasure chest now. So, and exponentially, I think that was potentially our full health or something like that. Well, I didn't pay attention to that because I was somehow get distracted by the forms of that particular flashy moment right there. Oh yeah, there are a few rare occasions where basically, as you can tell, that particular guy right there just somehow gives up on platforming skills. But as a result, one of those chests contains a Starman, which you'll be invincible for a few seconds. And as a result, the more you keep on ramming into those enemies, as you can see, we got ourselves a level up instantly. And once you've done so already, the game immediately goes into a transition to go on to level up bonus. So exponentially, I can potentially try to able to, well, don't need to deal with the battles or something like that. So, but either way though, he only lasts for about a few seconds though, keep that in mind. And on top of that, as soon as when the Starman power-up runs out, then you obviously accidentally ram into those specific enemies during that one point. So, but at least the actual process is a bit faster though, I must admit. So either way though, I wonder what's in this chest though. Oh, we got ourselves another flower point. That's actually pretty swell. Especially concerning about that particular point where, how much flower points we actually got so far. Oh wow, we got 18 so far. Okay, that's actually super dope. So, but either way though, hopefully we'll try to able to get the insane amount of those flower points as much as we can for the likes of certain treasure chests or for certain items. So, and something tells me about the fact that we now need to do a bit of a stealth segment here and there. But of course, we'll probably have to do that later, because obviously with more enemy encounters we can able to deal with. So, And of course, if you manage able to get spotted by the forms of this particular purple reptile thing, basically though is about the fact that he'll start to run away. So either way though, well, luckily he is not gonna leave. Oh wow, we get ourselves a lucky bonus. So I believe what the lucky bonus can do is that once you deal with the actual battles like this one, basically though is about the fact that we have to deal with the actual minigame. Like for instance, we can able to double up our coins. Like for example, we need to find the Yoshi, and basically if you do find a Yoshi, you actually get double the amount of rewards. However, if you get a tie, like I just did right there, basically you're pretty much stuck with the exact same amount. However, if you didn't able to win at all, basically though, all of your coins or experience points for that matter will be gone for good. So either way though, you have to be very cautious to able to not get unlucky rewards. So either way though, sometimes though I will admit though right away, it can be pretty tough to able to actually get that particular Yoshi reward, because otherwise, if you get very unlucky, like I just mentioned earlier, well, you're probably not gonna get it. So either way though, you just have to be very cautious with that. So, but sometimes certain effects like that can be pretty random at times. So, but either way, let's go ahead and finish up with the rest of the, you know, Sky Troopers, in addition to the forms of Frogog. So, either way though, hopefully we're able to beat the likes out of them. Oh, and by the way, for those of you able wondering about the fact that, yeah, this is the North American version of the game because of the fonts of the actual corresponding colors of the actual buttons, so likely about the fact you come across into, well, for the A button and the B button stands for like a darker purple color, but then in the X and Y buttons, they're like a lighter blue color for that particular button controller. So, however, if you ever played the Super Famicom version of the game, usually the Japanese version of the game, the actual corresponding colored button icons will be in multicolored, like to match up the fonts of the Super Famicom controller buttons / the European Super Nintendo controller. So either way though, that's actually pretty cool and all that stuff. So, and there we go, we got ourselves a Yoshi, so that means we'll get ourselves double the experience points. So that should be pretty handy, especially noticeable about the fact that I believe we're actually getting very close to Mallow's level 4. So, but either way though, because chances are, sometimes it takes a bit of while to able to level up at some form or another. But, assuming of course if you do manage to equip, you know, with all that armor, as well as some weapons and what have you, then you should be able to take them down quite easily. So, despite being about the fact that we have to do with a turn-based battle system. So, whilst unlike the fonts of how it does it in Paper Mario games, well, specifically Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64, as well as the Thousand Year Door, at the very least you can able to do certain button prop commands, like for instance with the forms of trying to block, you have to press the A button at the right time, and then usually in the Mario and Luigi games you can able to actually jump over certain projectiles and stuff like that. So, and there we go, Mallow is now at level 4, so let's go ahead and choose POW right here, which actually stands for not only attack but also defense as well. So exponentially, that way we should able to get a lot of advantages when it comes to likely, you know, trying to able to do with a lot of improvement status worth noting for. So, but I digress. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that Goomba over there, so let me just go ahead and take care of them first. So, because again, battling enemies is important, just in case you don't able to get under-leveled, so... Oh wow, another HP max, that's actually pretty swell. Because usually, relatively speaking, this game is going to be pretty generous when it comes to that. However though, when it comes to everything else, like boss battles for instance, I don't think we're able to actually get these specific effects like this like all the time. So either way, let's go ahead and get our mushrooms, so that way we can able to... Oh jeez, I totally forgot about that, another Goomba right there. But let's not worry about that right now, because we need to able to chase after that particular purple reptile right there, so we can potentially try to able to not get caught, and then just trying to able to sneak behind him. Like, we have to do this for about 3 times, by the way. So once you're done with that 3 times, I believe this is where we come to the point that we're about to face off against with him. So in some cases though, here we go, on to the next boss battle. So, and his name was Croco. So yeah, that's all he has to say. And I think the best strategy for this guy is that you have to use the fire orb, and then you have to mash the Y button for a certain amount of times, because that way it actually goes youch and stuff like that, meaning about the fact that he'll skip his turn. So that'll be pretty useful though, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, as you can tell, that that way the text will show up and exponentially he misses his turn. So yeah, that's all I can say by. In terms of HP that he's got about 320 HP, so as a result, it might take a bit of some time to able to deal with him. But in terms of experience points, he got about 16 experience points, and in terms of coins that he's got about 20 coins as a reward. So yeah, sometimes it takes a bit of while to able to finish him off. So, and I think eventually though that sometimes we might be able to come across into certain boss rematch encounters eventually. So as you can tell about the fact that I'm almost running low when it comes to the forms of the flower points. So what I'm gonna do is, potentially speaking, I'm also able to go and use my mushroom for Mallow because it seems that he's almost low on health. And exponentially, Croco is gonna bring out a weird mushroom for himself to able to recover even more health. So yeah, I was not expecting that. But at least we can able to pull off a jump special move, so that deals some bit of damage. However, if you try to utilize the actual stretchy arm attack for Mallow, I don't think it deals that much damage. So I think the best strategy for this is just keep on using the actual flower special attacks, so just in case you can actually deal some affected on here. So I would have liked to able to show you guys the forms of HP rain, but I don't think I can probably need to worry about this for right now, because it seems about the fact that, as you can tell, we're actually doing pretty well, because obviously we keep on missing, so as a result that should be pretty swell. Alright, time to do a fire orb here. And that should deal with some bit of damage towards Croco. So, and we can pretty much guarantee about the fact that I'm not exactly sure if we. Oh, there we go. Now we finish him off, because now about the fact that Mallow just somehow tells him off, and because of that though, he drops a well, let's just say a frog coin or something like that. So I think, potentially speaking of, this is actually our third frog coin, if I recall. Well, mind you, it's been about 2 days ago since I've last played this for sure, so. But of course, we're not exactly done with him yet though, because we'll meet him again at some point in a later portion of Super Mario RPG. So because of this though, yeah, that's what I mean about the fact that sometimes that we will come across into boss rematch encounters eventually, so. And quite frankly though, about the fact that we actually do not too bad. Especially noticeable about the fact that, after all, oh yeah, every once in a while for certain areas we come across into that big spring, which that potentially allows you to able to warp you back to the beginning portion of the area. So that would be pretty recommendable though, especially noticeable if you're getting sick of the forms of long travels. Basically though is about the fact that that would be a recommendable thing we can able to utilize with. Especially noticeable about the fact that it gives the actual fast travels a little bit more manageable. So either way, now I'm pretty sure we're basically done with the forms of every single aspect in terms of Bandit's way. So either way though, I suppose the only thing we need to do now is, of course, we need to go back into the Mushroom Kingdom and able to talk to the Counselor, or potentially speaking, we can able to do some more stuff. Oh, and by the way, every time when you do manage to finish a boss battle, luckily your health as well as your flower points will be restored. So that should be pretty good, especially noticeable about the fact that unlike in, well, at least assuming, of course, if you do have a level up in Paper Mario, as well as Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door after a boss fight, then you do get yourselves your restored flower points, as well as health, as well as the forms of star points as well, in specifically in both Paper Mario on the N64, as well as the Thousand Year Door as well. So either way though, yeah, that's what I can really discuss upon for this point, guys. So. But again, I would have liked able to explain something else for that matter, but I think it's probably best if we let Sonic be able to mention more details onto these other topics during the forms of Sonic Frontiers coming up at some point until tomorrow. So because of this though, yeah, everything else will be pretty much expected at that point. So. But, yeah, that's why I can really talk about this. Especially noticeable about the fact that, exponentially speaking though, is about the fact that I can't believe about the fact that we, you know about the fact that since that we've already finished up with Mario Super Sluggers during that time, that geez, that every single part is actually onto 100 views for each and every single parts of the actual Let's Play. Well, apart from 2 exceptions, mind you, because of the forms of this unexpected jump cuts in one of those particular... Oh, what the heck is going on here? Looks like the Mushroom Kingdom is entirely in chaos, so as a result, we definitely need to sort this problem out. And exponentially, we actually come across into a new type of enemy in the game, which appears to be body forms of Shyster. And basically, it's just basically a Shy Guy, but on the forms of a pogo stick or something like that. So, I believe for those guys, do manage to have themselves about roughly 30 HP, but in terms of experience points, you get about 3. And finally, for coins, you get 2, so it's pretty much the exact same amount as you expect from the beginner enemies to encounter or something like that. So, but either way though. However though, I don't think we can probably able to deal with them within a massive amount of damage when it comes to like the fist punches for Mallow, but if you try to utilize the hammer weapon for Mario, it actually deals quite a bit of damage. So, and even then though, we need to able to take care of the rest of the forms of the Shysters to begin with, because as you can tell, we actually got 10 coins thanks to Toad right there. And exponentially, we can probably able to clean up the rest of the actual Shysters before we're able to get certain rewards if we manage able to deal with them. So, because for whatever reason, when Sonic did actually tell me something back in the day, that in one time about the fact that during the course of his first playthrough of Super Mario RPG on the actual Nintendo Wii Virtual Console re-release version of the game, where basically though it's about the fact that he totally forgot that particular side quest thingy does exist. Because mind you about the fact that back in the day, when Sonic first experienced this particular game, back in 2009 or something like that, he totally forgot about the forms of a lot of stuff to do. So with that being said, yeah, let's go ahead and save our game. So we're gonna have to end things off at this point right here, I'm afraid, guys. So join me next time for more Let's Play of Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. We need to able to solve this mystery of who causes those specific Shysters to able to go causing havoc during the forms of the Mushroom Kingdom. So we'll see you guys on Friday. Later, fellas.